Hey tennis fans, and welcome back to Tennis Mode, the channel where Filipino pride runs deeper than the red clay of any court in the world. Before you scroll past, before you tap away, I need you to do something for me right now. So, just stop whatever you are doing, sit down, and listen carefully, because what happened today in Madrid was not just a tennis match. It was not just another result on the WTA scoreboard. What happened today was a moment that will be talked about in Philippine sports history for generations to come. Today, Alexandra Eala did not just win a match. She sent a message to the entire tennis world, and that message was written in bold, unmistakable, terrifying letters. But here is the thing. Do you actually understand how enormous this victory truly is? Because if you think this is just another first-round win, you are completely missing the picture. Stay with me because by the end of this video, your jaw is going to be on the floor. Let me paint you the full picture of what Alex walked into today. Her opponent was Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, a woman who has stood on the court of Roland Garros and fought her way to a Grand Slam final. Think about that for a second. A Grand Slam finalist. Not a qualifier. Not a journeywoman grinding through the lower ranks. A battle-tested, clay court warrior who knows the geometry of the dirt better than almost anyone alive on the WTA Tour today. Now the skeptics, the odds makers, the international commentators, they all saw Pavlyuchenkova's name in the draw and immediately started talking about her experience, her devastating flat ground strokes, her history on the French clay. They painted Alex as the student, arriving in Madrid for a harsh education. But what every single one of them failed to understand is this. Alex did not travel to Spain to learn. She traveled to Spain to teach. And today, she taught a masterclass that left the entire tennis world completely speechless. But wait, before we talk about the match itself, you need to understand why this particular opponent made this victory so staggering. Because here is the detail that changes everything. Pavlyuchenkova came into this tournament ranked 116th in the world, with a record of 2 wins and 6 losses on the season. Her best result coming into Madrid was simply qualifying for the tournament itself. Now you might think, okay, so she was struggling. Does that make Alex's win less impressive? Absolutely not. And here is exactly why. A wounded veteran with nothing to lose and everything to prove is the single most dangerous player you can face in the first round of a Masters 1000 event. She was desperate. She was fighting for her professional life. She was a cornered animal looking for a victim to kickstart her season. And she ran directly into Alexandra Eala, and she had absolutely no answer for what was waiting for her on the other side of the net. Now let us talk about Alex herself, because the international media is only just waking up to what we here at Tennis Mode have been tracking since day one. The girl who won the US Open Juniors title, the girl who conquered the Roland Garros Junior doubles, has transformed. She is no longer the slender teenager people remember from the junior circuit. She left her family at a young age to live and breathe tennis at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. A sacrifice that most people sitting comfortably at home cannot begin to comprehend. The grueling physical conditioning, the endless tactical drilling, the relentless mental sharpening, all of it has forged Alexandra Eala into something rare. Something that only comes along once in a generation. And her 2026 season was already screaming a warning to anyone willing to listen. World number 44 heading into Madrid. A win over Coco Gauff, the world number 4 at the time, on the hard courts of Indian Wells. Read that back. She defeated one of the most dominant players on the planet. The warning signs were there. The world just was not paying close enough attention. Until now. Here is where it gets truly fascinating, and I need you to lock in, because the tactical story of this match is one of the most brilliant chess games I have ever seen played on a tennis court. Madrid is unique. It sits at high altitude, meaning the air is thinner, the ball flies faster through the atmosphere, and it bounces significantly higher than at sea level. Historically, this environment is a paradise for players like Pavlyuchenkova, players who hit the ball flat and hard, whose shots become heavy artillery at altitude, penetrating the court and rushing the opponent before they can set up. On paper, this was Pavlyuchenkova's ideal battleground. So how do you beat a player like that, in a venue perfectly designed for her game? You bring a weapon she has never seen before. You bring a left-handed, looping, vicious topspin forehand that launches the ball above her shoulder height and makes her entire offensive game biomechanically impossible. That is exactly what Alex did. She relentlessly targeted Pavlyuchenkova's backhand with her lefty forehand, kicking the ball up high off the clay, forcing the Russian to hit from positions where generating pace is physically impossible. Imagine trying to rip an aggressive backhand when the ball is bouncing up near your ears. You cannot do it. Pavlyuchenkova was instantly neutralized, trapped in a pattern of defensive slices and weak replies that Alex devoured with ruthless efficiency. The second weapon Alex deployed was something equally devastating: her movement. Pavlyuchenkova's entire game plan depends on standing tall at the baseline, dictating rallies, and ending points quickly. She wants to be the aggressor. She wants to be the sniper picking off targets from distance. Alex looked at that game plan and completely dismantled it. She dragged Pavlyuchenkova into the trenches, turning every exchange into a grueling war of attrition. The footwork Alex showed was breathtaking, sliding into corners with the grace of a seasoned clay court specialist, retrieving balls that looked like certain winners, forcing the veteran to hit 1 extra shot, 2 extra shots, 3 extra shots, until the patience snapped and the errors cascaded. And then, just when Pavlyuchenkova thought she had finally forced Alex deep behind the baseline, bracing for another lung-burning rally, Alex would mask her swing at the very last millisecond and feather a drop shot barely over the net with the touch of an artist. The disguise was so perfect, so devastatingly timed, that Pavlyuchenkova's ankles were practically giving out trying to change direction. You could see the frustration boiling on the Russian's face. She was being dismantled physically and broken mentally, and she had absolutely no response. Now let me take you inside the match itself, because the scoreline does not tell the full emotional story of what happened inside the Aranxes Sanchez Stadium today. The first set was a war. Pure and honest. Pavlyuchenkova came out swinging with terrifying aggression, hitting return winners that sounded like gunshots off her racket. Early in the set, Alex found herself facing crucial break points, backed into a corner by a woman with Grand Slam pedigree firing on all cylinders. 2 years ago, a younger Alex might have flinched. She might have played it safe, gone passive, allowed the veteran's experience to steal the moment. But the 2026 version of Alexandra Eala does not flinch. Facing break points against a Grand Slam finalist, she stepped up to the service line, sent a devastating wide serve that pulled Pavlyuchenkova completely off the court, and dispatched a blistering forehand winner down the line into the open court. Complete, absolute ice running through her veins. She looked the pressure directly in the eyes, and she did not blink once. As the match moved into the second set, the true physical cost of Alex's relentless intensity began showing, but not on Alex. On Pavlyuchenkova. Between points, the veteran was leaning on her racket, breathing heavily, taking every extra second at the towel. Meanwhile, on the other side of the net, Alex looked fresh. She looked light. She looked like she could play 5 more sets without breaking rhythm. The Filipino conditioning, the hours and years of physical preparation at the Nadal Academy, were paying dividends in the most visible, public way possible. The commentator at courtside said it best: Pavlyuchenkova needed to use her experience and confidence on this surface to turn things around. Instead, she found a masterpiece waiting for her on the other side. When it was over, what Alex had just done fully crystallized. She had faced a woman who had breathed the air of a Grand Slam final on the exact type of surface where she made her name, and left her looking completely bewildered, completely out of answers, and completely beaten. Now I need you to understand the full weight of what this victory means beyond the match itself, because this is where the numbers become genuinely staggering. Alex entered this tournament at world number 44, already a historic milestone for Philippine tennis, already uncharted territory. But the ranking points attached to defeating a player of Pavlyuchenkova's caliber in the main draw of a WTA 1000 event are enormous. This result does not just keep her in the top 50. This is a rocket launch directly toward the top 30. And do you understand what breaking into the top 30 actually means for her career? It means guaranteed direct entry into every major tournament on the planet without needing wildcards or qualifiers. It means she earns seedings at the Grand Slams, Protection that keeps her away from the Sabalenkas, the Rybakinas, and the Swinetlins of the world in the early rounds. It means deep runs become possible. Life-changing prize money becomes a reality. Global superstar status stops being a dream and starts being a destination. But beyond every number, beyond every ranking point and every dollar of prize money, what this means culturally back home is something that cannot be calculated on any spreadsheet. Tennis has always been the sport of European and American dominance, an exclusive, expensive, almost impenetrable world for anyone coming from Southeast Asia. For a young Filipina to pick up a racket, navigate the brutal junior circuits, leave her family and her home behind for a life in Spain, grind through ITF tournaments in obscurity, break through the walls of the W, and now stand on the center courts of Madrid dismantling legends, that is not just inspiring. That is the stuff of movies. Tonight, every child in Manila, in Cebu, in Davao, in Iloilo holding a tennis racket in their hands knows something they did not know before today. They know the impossible is actually possible. They know they do not need to look across any ocean to find a hero. They just have to look at the fierce, brilliant, unstoppable face of Alexandra Eala. Roland Garros is coming. The French Open, the absolute pinnacle of clay court tennis, is approaching fast. And if Alex is playing with this level of tactical intelligence and physical dominance on the lightning-fast Madrid clay, I want you to imagine, genuinely imagine, what she is going to do on the slower traditional red dirt of Paris, where she will have even more time to set up her forehand, even more room to run down every ball, even more space to deploy those devastating drop shots that are going to haunt the nightmares of every player in the draw. The women's tour has a terrifying new clay court force to deal with. She carries the Philippine flag. She carries the dreams of over 100 million people. And she is just getting started. Tennis Mode family, get into that comment section right now and tell me your single favorite moment from this match. Did you ever truly believe Alex could dismantle a Grand Slam finalist with this level of cold authority? And how deep do you honestly think she goes in Madrid? Drop your predictions below, because I read every single one of them. If this breakdown fired you up, smash that like button right now. It is how we push Alex's story to tennis fans across the entire globe. Subscribe and hit the bell if you are new here, because this journey is only getting bigger. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. We will see you on the next one.